Hello there, welcome back. I'm Brittany, this is Mommy Vapes, and as promised today we are mixing it up. Alright, today I wanted to kind of show you how I mix my e-liquids at home and also share a really freaking tasty recipe with you. Now I've already run all of my measurements through my e-liquid calculator, so I do have a few things pre-measured just to save on some time, but I will tell you my measurements as I proceed. So the first thing, let's go ahead and just touch on some recipe talk. I found a recipe called Georgia on my mind on eliquidrecipes.com. I will link the recipe below. I've had to adapt it down because today I'm only making 5 mils worth. Sorry about the traffic noise outside. It is way too hot to keep these windows closed. I did adapt this very slightly for today's video, so I actually have not tasted the recipe I'm creating today, but the Georgia on my mind is a very sweet, almost tart-like fruity vape. It consists of juicy peach, sweet strawberry, and sweetener. All can be purchased from Wizard Labs. Like I mentioned in my previous video, everything that I have as far as liquid and mixing I get from Wizard Labs. So let's just get started. I am making 5 mils today, only 5. I don't see a point in making much more than that on something I have not personally tried. Today, I, like the Georgia peach, will be mixing juicy peach, sweet strawberry, sweetener, and then I'm actually going to add a blackberry to it, so I've cut all of my percentages down accordingly. Back to what I was saying, I'm making 5 mils today, 6 milligrams strength. It will be a 50-50 PG VG blend, and it has 15% flavor. So, like I said, I've already run all the calculations through my e-liquid calculator. Let's just get started. Here's my jar, empty jar, ready to mix in. I'm going to start with my PG, which I have pre-measured out to 2.45 mils in my syringe without a needle. So we just plop that down on into the jar. Make sure we get all those little drops at the end. Next, I'm going to be adding a plain vegetable glycerin with no nicotine. I have not, we'll get to nicotine, but I'm going to enter my plain vegetable glycerin into the jar in the measurement of, what did we measure out to? 0.55 in a smaller syringe, so I could be a little bit more precise. That goes down there into the jar as well. And since I want a very low level nicotine of 6 milligrams, I'm only going to be using 1.25 mils of my nicotine vegetable glycerin. So with a 50-50 blend, basically half of the mix is PG, half is VG. Like I mentioned, I have plain VG and nicotine VG just so I can achieve a lower nicotine level. Because I do buy mine in 24 milligram strength. Even if I made a 50-50 with my 24 milligram, I would get a 12 milligram dosage. I wanted to cut that down even in half of that, so that's why I also supplemented with plain vegetable glycerin. Okay, so recap. PG 2.45 mils, VG 0.55 mils, VG with nicotine 1.25 mils. So that gives me my base I'm working on here. And I want to maintain my 15% flavoring, so I've already pre-measured out my very first flavor. It is super freaking loud this afternoon. I apologize. I very deeply apologize. I have measured out my first flavor here, which is an 8%. This is 8% of my full 15. This is Juicy Peach out of my Wizard Labs vial. Juicy Peach is by the Flavor Apprentice. So I have this measured out at 0.45 milliliters. So I'm going to pop this into my jar. I do have a needle on this syringe only because it gets down to the bottom of my flavor tubes a lot easier. Now, as I'm mixing like one recipe, I do reuse my flavor syringe. I get a fresh glass of water and I actually like pop it in there while I'm preparing my next flavor. Might even give it like a nice little water rinse, suck up my water, shoot it back out. I have paper towels in front of me, so I also wipe the needle to clean that off. Now the most important thing, since I'm reusing this, I have to very carefully draw my next flavors out. I do not want to go over the measurements I have specified because I no longer have the option of pushing the flavor back into the tube once the needle's been saturated with the first, second, third flavor. I hope that makes sense. Moving along, I'm going to be adding sweet strawberry next. The measurement is going to be 0.2 mils. So I just stick my needle all the way to the bottom and very, very carefully and slowly draw this up. As I said, I do not have the option of putting any excess I get back into the tube, or it will contaminate my sweet strawberry flavor. Now that goes into the jar, 0.2 sweet strawberry. Pop my needle in my glass of water while I put the cap back on my sweet strawberry so I don't spill it. Give my needle a little rinse, wipe it off. What's up next? Sweetener. I need 0.1 mils of my sweetener. Pop that off. Rinse off my needle. 0.1 mil. So very slowly, very carefully, trying to keep the syringe as level as possible to get that super accurate, perfect measurement. Sweetener into the jar. I'll recap my flavor measurements and percentages again when I am finished. Rinse off my needle, wipe off my needle, and let's pull out that Blackberry. This should be interesting. I'll have to come back and let you know if this worked out and if I really liked it. Okay, Blackberry, cleaned off syringe, stick it down in there. This time I need 0.05 mil, and that's where these really tiny syringes, this is like a 1 mil syringe, comes in handy. So pull that up to 1/2 of 0.1 mil, 0.05. Boom, there it is. There's my mix. Obviously not mixed yet, but there's the complete recipe. Okay, so between my 4 flavors, Juicy Peach, Sweet Strawberry, Sweetener, and Blackberry, I only put them in that order because I'm going from highest to lowest. I have just added a 15% flavor to my mix, to my 5 mils I'm creating overall. Again, Juicy Peach was measured out 0.4 mils. Sweet Strawberry was measured out 0.2 mils. The Sweetener was measured 0.1 mil. And my Blackberry was measured 0.05 mil. There you go. Here's my jar. Here is my milk frother. Let's get mixing. The VG in the mix, oh my god, that smells so good. The VG in the mix becomes quite bubbly while you're mixing. Even if you just put it in a jar with a lid and shake it, it does become quite bubbly. So if you're going to use a milk frother, you will notice, I don't know if my camera will pick it up, but you will notice that your mix looks quite cloudy. That's okay. Smells pretty dang good to me. Alright, so what I do at this point, actually, is I will let this sit until that cloudiness clears. Usually with a 50-50 mix, it'll clear out in about, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes. Excuse me, I will come back and I will froth it again until it is cloudy like this. And with a fruit blend, I notice fruits don't need to necessarily steep. So I'll mix it up 2 or 3 times, you know, until it's cloudy, and then let it clear maybe 2 or 3 times. And then I actually put this jar without a lid back up here behind where I'm sitting to just really let it get some air, because my animals and children can't get up there. Not yet anyway. So I'll let it sit until I feel like trying it. Now, if I use like coffee flavors or tobacco flavors, I tend to bottle them into my little dropper bottles and let those sit for, I don't know, anywhere from like 3 days up to a week, just to really get the full benefit of that flavor. So I don't think I missed anything. I hope I didn't miss anything, but that's how I do it, you know? It's pretty simple, pretty easy peasy. And when I'm done, I clean everything up pretty quickly so nobody can get into it. Kids, animals, you know, all that sort of thing. Go wash my hands with soap and I'm done. So thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye!